guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I am here in a special studio for a really important reason, and it's this vehicle right here. What is it? This is your upgraded, updated 2025 Acura MDX. This particular one is known as the MDX Advanced trim. But before we get into this mid-size 3-row crossover SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. It goes all the way back to 2001. That was a very important year for Acura because that is when they came out with the MDX. And it's been a crazy journey because this brand, this premium brand of Honda that's been around since 1986, has really brought a lot of amazing vehicles to market. Now, what's fascinating is in 2001, things were still quite fresh when it came to crossover SUVs. Today, you fast forward to model year 2025, there are tons of different ways to get your crossover SUV, but you know what? Acura really has stuck to their roots, making sure to bring vehicles that have that precision crafted performance, but also the reliability and all the fine touches because of being that luxurious brand known as Acura. Now, there are a lot of different competitors from a lot of different areas of the world. What I want to find out is the Acura MDX, especially this advanced trim, is this the best way to go when you're looking for that mid-size luxury crossover SUV? Let's go ahead, let's find out what's new and find out what is different with this vehicle and see if it's the one that you should be buying. Let's check it out. Right off the bat, you're still gonna get that familiar shape and overall dimensions, but let me show you some of the touches, and it really comes together in a big way at the front of the business. So you're still gonna get that full LED lighting effect. That goes without saying. Now, they did tweak the housing just a little bit to darken the area, just to give it a little bit classier appearance, but everything else is still gonna be full LED from your daytime running lamp, that chicane daytime running lamp, your multi-jewel LED headlight setup, and your turn signals. Now here's where things get really different. Working your way down, they re-sculpted the whole front fascia. And what you'll notice is in the corner areas, they actually have brought functional, not fake, but functional corner air curtains. Nice large size. I've always liked how Acura sculpts everything. They really walk on that thin line because it is such a thin line between being too sporty, too aggressive, but also classy and luxurious. And I think they really hit the nail on the head, not only with how they designed the corner air curtain here, but on this advanced trim, you'll notice some of the nice little touches with the chrome finish. And one of the things that I'm digging, which you know me, I'm not really a big chrome kind of guy, but they did it in a way to where it doesn't feel fuddy-duddy. This doesn't feel like something that came from the past with a bunch of chrome all over it where you have to wear a pair of sunglasses. It's all in the fine details. So of course you have just a little bit of chrome finish, but then you're gonna have your LED fog lamps down below. Everything else is color matched in that lower corner area. Then we coast in front of the all new grille. So you're gonna have that gloss black, love that intersecting crisscross design, forward facing camera on this advanced trim, that massive Acura badge, so much history that goes back to 1986. And then on this particular trim, I love how they just dripped just a little bit of chrome on that lower perimeter. The top portion does not have, there's no actual edge to the top portion of the grille. And I think that that really sets it apart. It's almost like you could really see how sunk in the grille is compared to the rest of the front fascia because of that chrome trim. And let me know down in the comment section if you're digging the little touches of chrome that they brought. Now, working our way down, you do have flat black on this lower lip area and full functionality on the lower portion as well. And I'm glad that they went with a flat black because this is closer to the road. It's gonna take a better beating over time. As we rise up, this top portion of the front fascia has been re-sculpted, gives it that nice aesthetic, that sportiness, but also the class. Same exact hood, and what's underneath the hood is exactly the same as well, and that's not a bad thing. You still have that naturally aspirated 3.5 liter V6. In today's day and age, a lot of the competition are going to smaller displacement engines. 2.4 liter turbocharged engines, 2 liter turbocharged engines. Lots of different ways of downsizing. With this Acura MDX, you're still having that naturally aspirated V6, 290 horsepower, mated to a 10-speed automatic, and of course, we can't forget that super handling all-wheel drive that sends 70% of the power to the rear wheels, and then from that 70%, 100% can be sent either to the passenger rear wheel or the driver rear wheel. That's how good that super handling all-wheel drive is, and well, duh, that's why they call it super handling all-wheel drive. Now, as we come around the bend, here's some other big touches. For 2020, you're gonna get all new wheels. And what's great is depending on the trim, that's really gonna change the personality because you're gonna have a different wheel on each trim. You'll notice we have our shark gray finish, the machined aluminum. I'm really digging this style of wheel. Very, very, like I said, sophisticated, sporty, without going too over the top. It's all about the fine touches. You actually get black lug nuts on the wheels. That's gonna just clean up the look. And then here's a big, big difference between this 2025 Advance and the previous model year. You'll notice everything on the Advance trim is body color matched. So no gloss black, no flat black. Now, if you go Type S, this will be gloss black. If you go to the other trims, it will be flat black. But if you go Advance, you're getting full body color match, fender and fender opening. I'm really, really liking that. Now, when it comes to your overall wheel size, like I said, this is a 20-inch wheel, and I think the way that they really just designed it makes it stand out, and you're gonna notice this going down the road and say, hey, that's a new MDX. Now, as we rise up, come down the side, you just have a little bit of chrome, matches nicely with what's going on the front end area. Always thought it was cool how it flows off the door and into the actual mirror. Of course, you're gonna have your LED lighting. You're gonna have these nice satin silver roof rails. You could get a cargo basket. You could put all sorts of stuff up there, make it the ultimate family hauler. That bright, shiny metalwork top and bottom around the window openings, color matched on the door handle, and just a slither of chrome on the side as well. But I'm telling you, the fact that they painted the side skirt extension and around the fender openings really ties everything together very nicely on this MDX Advance. Working our way towards the rear, just like with the headlights, they did a little bit of smoke effect to blacken out and darken the taillights as well. Full LED lighting goes without saying. And then, of course, just like with the grille area, only along the bottom here, you just have a little bit of shiny chrome finish. But it's at the bottom where it all gets tied in together, because where normally this would be flat black on other trims or gloss black like on the Type S, this is body colored on the Advance. And then you're still gonna get your same exhaust opening, stainless steel tips, and they're functional on both sides. Remember, some of the competition just puts decorative exhaust openings there that are not the actual functioning exhaust. So it's nice that Acura still brings this. But why don't we go ahead, let's see what type of technology that's new for 2025 that's gonna improve the driving experience and the usability of your MDX. Let's get to the interior of this Advance. All right, guys, we are inside this 2025 Acura MDX Advance. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I am glad that you are bringing this to us because I'm about to pull the trigger on a Lexus TX. And I'm not so sure I want to go that route. I'm really liking what this MDX Advance has to offer. What about price? Well, no pricing is available yet, but stay tuned. Don't make any, just decisions without thinking it through and without getting all the information. That will be coming shortly. So stay tuned to Rady's Rides We will have the pricing and, of course, the first drive. But let me show you just what is different on the interior of this 2025 MDX compared to last model year to the door panels. Absolutely love this two-tone setup. You're going to have dark soft touch material up top. That's real wood finish. And of course, you're going to have your ambient lighting. You have 3 memory seat settings. And then I'm really digging all the stitching and that nice milk chocolate brown color. Really, really has a nice, classy look to it. Aluminum speaker grill covers, but it's not just about the speaker grills. It's about, look what brand is there. For the first time in an MDX, Bang & Olufsen sound system. This is game-changing. 19 speakers in this MDX Advance. You do have a good-sized door pocket. Easily get a bag of In-N-Out burgers in there and a large shake to wash it all down. Going from the door panel to the dash, it's all in the materials. The stitching, the real wood finish. Make sure not to rub your wood too hard because you will get a splinter if you're not careful. More stitching. And then as you slide on in, what do we have that's all new? 12.3-inch infotainment system. This is the largest touchscreen in an Acura vehicle on this MDX Advance. Of course, not only is it full touchscreen, you're going to have your wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, very, very fast reacting. I love Cabin Talk. Cabin Talk is perfect because you can talk to the people sitting in the back seat and the third row without having to raise your voice. My dad would have loved this because my dad used to yell at us all the time when we were kids in my mom's 9-passenger station wagon. So now you don't have to do that anymore. And I like the way that they brought and continued having those features. You could go onto your maps. Another thing is that they really cleaned up all of the icons. So if you want ambient lighting, you have ambient lighting. And you can make all your different changes and adjustments. And I like the way it's all detailed with all these different locations. Very, very interesting way of doing it. Much different than the other brands, but nice, clear graphics. And of course, you still have that side screen where you could scroll through the separate. But if you want a full map, you can get your full map. It's not that big of a deal to have the side screen up or the full map up. You, of course, have your Acura watch, 360 cam on here. Love how clear the resolution is. That makes parking this a breeze, so you don't have to scratch those new 20-inch wheels. I hate that noise when I'm in a parking lot and somebody curbs the wheel. That just, it's like chalk. It's like fingernails on a chalkboard to me when somebody curbs a wheel in a parking lot. And then you're right back to home. You got your start-stop button, nice aluminum finish there. Your dual climate control. Let me see if I can get this thing cranked. There we go. I know Steven always likes it warmer for some reason. I always like it cooler. It's because of my big heart. You do have 3 stages of heated seats, 3 stages of ventilated seats, and then of course on the Advance you have the massage seats, which is a nice touch, something that is being brought for this Advance trim. This is going to control your 10-speed automatic. You have USB-C, USB-A. Of course, you can't forget your dynamic mode selector knob. Obviously, the vehicle needs to be running for me able to show you that. And then the center console is totally reshaped. So without the touchpad, you still get your volume knob for the audio files out there. You have your wireless charging pad, 2 cup holders, and a place to put an average size hot dog. Not a large hot dog, not a small hot dog, average size. Love the soft material on the armrest, the stitching. Look at this. You got a place where you could put some coins. Maybe if you lose your marbles, you could keep your marbles here so you don't lose them. And then you have more storage with 2 USB-Cs. And what's going to be great about that is you could actually put 4 balls in there. So if you're done playing with your baseballs, you could put them in there. The one signed by Jose Canseco, the one signed by Ken Griffey Jr. Maybe even have a Pete Rose signed baseball. You better sell them soon because I think the value on these baseballs are just going right down the drain. What's not going down the drain are all the great materials, the leather, the piping, the stitching. Of course, you have full electric assist for the passenger, full electric assist for the driver, massive panoramic sunroof, 19 speakers throughout. And normally I'm not a big fan of this, but I'm actually liking the lighter headliner. I think with the darker brown, it's working very well in here for me. It makes me feel good. But why don't you come over here at the business end? I want to show you what's going to make you feel good sitting behind the wheel of this updated MDX. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. Just like the passenger side, you have 3 memory seat settings for the driver's seat, like the aluminum sill plate with the Acura name to welcome you, to remind you what brand vehicle you bought in case you forgot. You do have, of course, all your seat controls within fingertip reach. And I'm really digging the style of the seats. And if you're wondering, do these look familiar? These seats are out of the previous year's Type S. That's why these seats look so good and feel so good. Steering wheel, same thing. Love the thickness, the leather. You got flat black on all the switch gear, paddles on the back of the wheel to go up and down the 10-speed automatic, electric tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then you have your 12.3 digital gauge cluster and a head-up display, more information than what they brought on the moon. And I love the way for 2025 you could bring the Google Maps right in there so you don't have to look off into the distance. It's right there in front of you. But why don't we go ahead? Like I said, this is a 3-row crossover luxury SUV. Let's get in the mid-row and see how your passengers are going to like this MDX Advance. All right, guys, mid-row time, and this is where Acura likes to bring their flexibility and flex their muscle. See what I did there? Flexibility, flexibility. Flex their muscle when it comes to how you could set up this mid-row. Very, very unique. But before I show you, let me show you what's behind the seats. The leather, see the piping all the way around, very nicely done. Nice large pockets, you could put a couple whammos in there. If you don't know what a whammo is, that was a brand that made Frisbees. So when you're gonna go play Frisbee golf, you do have your little command center back here for your rear AC vents, 3 stages of heated seats. Of course, you're gonna have a 12-volt, 2 USB-Cs. And then this is where the versatility comes into play. You ready for this? So of course, you're gonna have sliding seats, but you're also gonna have reclining seats, but you're also gonna have captain's chairs, but you're also gonna have, let's see if I can do it, a removable mid-row. So the mid-row in the middle is removable, which is nice because, you know, if you get that one annoying kid that's friends with your son or your daughter and you don't want them to sit here, you want them to be back in that area, if they have longer legs, they can stretch out their legs, or it's easy for the kids to just kind of cut through here. And this is totally storable in the cargo area. So that's a really nice touch. That's versatility. That's almost like the definition of versatility. It's like the Swiss Army knife of SUV interior. And I know that Steven is a big fan of Swiss Army knives and other assorted pocket knives. But why don't we go ahead, let's get into the 3rd row and see if it's really cramped back there for a big person like me. Let's get back there. All right, guys, 3rd row time. And you know what? This is where this space, I think most people are probably going to leave the seats down because there's just not a lot of room back here. Let's be honest. I'm squished. I wish I would have removed this before I got back here because my knees are too high. I'm really cramped. And another thing that I'm going to have to zonk is the seats are not the same material. Look how nice this is. Piping, perforations, the 2 Ps. There's none of that. So I'm a little disappointed, but I do like the way you have a USB-A here and a USB-A here. And of course, 19 speakers. I got speakers back here as well. Just not a lot of room. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the cargo area and see how much room is in this MDX. All right, guys, cargo area time. Of course, you just hit the button. Nice electric assist. And this is really where the MDX, once again, flexes its muscle. When you're looking at the 3rd row, I left the 3rd row up for you to give you an idea of how much room there is. Now, how you configure the 3rd row, basically you're looking at about 16.3 cubic feet of space. You fold down the 3rd row, that gives you 39.1. You fold down that mid-row, it gives you 71.4 cubic feet of space. And I just love the ease. It's like even a caveman can do it. And then you'll notice I folded the mid-row down totally flat from the rear cargo area all the way up to that mid row. And then like I said, if you want to remove the middle section of the mid row, you can just store it right underneath here. Nice and easy. If you don't, then that's just going to maximize your storage space and that versatility. But you know what? It's vehicles like these that Acura is working on. It's not just about the technology side of things. It's also about where we're going and how Steven's going to kind of walk back to the front with me, and we're going to just kind of have like a little fireside chat about what Acura is doing with this MDX. Bringing the technology, bringing some new style, obviously safety technology as well, and of course, when you look at all those finishes on the interior. But I know you want to see this thing in motion. I want to see it in action. We're going to be getting to that not too long from now, so stick around because we'll be bringing it to you. But let me know down in the comment section, how do you feel about this new MDX Advance? Is it something that you're willing to spend your hard-earned money on? Let me know down in that comment section. But we need to thank the whole Acura team for inviting us to this location that reminds me from the scene of The Matrix. And if you're wondering why is there a living room set over there, that is the special living room set that Bang & Olufsen set up to let us hear the pure audio tunes. I know Steven, being a musician, is all about sound perception. It's all about hearing. It's all about smarts. Steven has a great music sense and a music smarts, and he's able to really pick up on what this Bang & Olufsen is bringing in this MDX. But let me know down in the comment section if you're loving this. If you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rights family. Of course, we need to give it up, Stephen Flood Photography. What can I say? The man is a genius. That's all I could say. But thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.